So this video, I'm going to talk about my experiences on vacation in Colorado. Can't even get a rest while I'm on vacation. So I go out to Colorado for a week every summer, usually in June, when there used to be fewer tourists out there. Um, I know some of you are hoping I'm going to talk about Stanley Hotel, which I have visited a number of times. I've never stayed overnight there, but of course, you see the stories, you see the photos on the staircase of spirits and ghosts and all that, and experiences Stephen King had, which I would love to spend a night there one year, but it's booked way in advance and it's over $300 a night to stay there. So I've not stayed there overnight. Um, my experiences there basically non-existent. I haven't had any real personal experiences there. I've only seen and heard. I've seen the staircase where all these photos are taken. They let you go downstairs, but not upstairs. But you can go into the ballrooms where supposedly piano is heard playing at night, and you can explore a lot of the hotel on the first floor. You just can't go up to the guest rooms. They do have ghost tours. They've been used to be every day at 1 o'clock. I've not done that either, but one of these years I intend to, if I can plan it out soon enough. But anyway, I'm going to focus on other towns. So typically I'll go to Durango for most of my visit. And because hotel prices have gotten so high, I started staying at a different hotel starting last year. Uh, there's an historic hotel right down smack in the middle of downtown Durango. There's two historic hotels. This is the one closer to the train station. This one dates, I believe, to 1878, 1882, somewhere in that range. So it's a vintage hotel. It's period furnished, so you get the feel when you go in. But last year I stayed up on the third floor, no experiences. This year, though, they put me on the second floor. So I move my stuff into this room, go to bed that night, and sleep pretty soundly until about 1:30 in the morning. I suddenly snap to, and very noticeably, I was being pushed. There was a very heavy pressure on my head, on my chest. I'm being pressed down into the pillow on the bed. I was sleeping on my back, and it lingered there for a few seconds. I'm like, what on earth is going on? I'm sitting there. By the time I figured it out, snapped out and it disappeared. So I was able to get up and come to my senses. So precautionary, I blessed the room. I didn't have any of my stuff on me, like sage or anything, but blessed the room, prayers, told it to scram, stop bothering me, don't ever do that again to me, go away, don't bother me the rest of my stay. So the remaining nights, no problems. But that was just kind of a surprise there. I um, do go to the adjacent storefront, which I understand is the original location for the Rocky Mountain Chocolate Factory. And so go in there to buy some chocolate. And of course, I always ask, tell me your ghost stories. Have you seen or heard anything? And of course, most of the kids working there hadn't seen anything, but they do know the tales. So they said this year, they told me this year that there is a tunnel that connects the cellar of the store to the cellar of the hotel right next door. And there have been sightings of a dark shadow figure, or just a dark figure with a cowboy hat on, and they had a name for him. I can't remember if it was Bart, but it was the stereotypical outlaw name. And apparently this spirit is seen in the cellar or moving through the tunnel in both buildings. But of course, the tunnel was inaccessible behind locked doors now. They won't let anyone in there, so I couldn't go down and experience anything myself. But now I know that exists. My other experience was in Breckenridge. There's a hotel there, my favorite hotel in Breckenridge. This was at the beginning of the pandemic, uh, May or June 2021, I believe. And so I went out for just a short trip. My cousin had never been, so I brought him out. And we drove around. We stayed in this hotel the last night in Breckenridge. And it's a pretty tall hotel. I think it's about 14 stories, has a nice commanding view of the mountain peaks in Breckenridge, peaks 8, 9, and 10. So it's a beautiful hotel. I love staying there. The rooms are kind of chevron shaped, and the inside is all glass. So you get a really nice view of the mountains there. And so they also have a very small balcony, about 3 feet wide, not very big. It's not designed to go out and sit and talk and enjoy yourself. It's just to, I guess, take in the views. Of course, as a railing. Um, so we get to the hotel. We're packed in. There's 2 bedrooms. He's in that bedroom. I'm in my bedroom. I have the balcony off my bedroom. So I open the slider, go out there to try to capture the fading sun behind the mountains as it's setting. And as soon as I get out there to the railing, I get this bolt of sheer terror right down the center of my body. I'm not a big fan of heights to begin with, and we're about 10 stories up. But I'd been on these balconies before with no big problem, no real, not being that scared of it. But this time it was just sheer terror. And I felt like I was going to fall off or be pushed off or whatever. And I just slammed my back up against the sliding glass door, and I got off of there within a few seconds. Like, oh my gosh, that was terrifying. And as soon as I sat on the bed a few feet away, this woman's face appears right here, and she looks a little bit beat up, haggard, not looking very attractive. Long, stringy blonde hair looked like it had been wet and it was drying. She looked a little bruised, beaten up. She looked pretty haggard, and probably around 40, 45 years old, I'm guessing. And she just sat there with this look of terror. Her eyes were wide open, mouth was open, and she just sat there with this gaze on her face for about 6 or 7 minutes. She wasn't going anywhere. So I started to try to talk to her, hoping my cousin wouldn't overhear me in the next room. It's like, who are you? What happened to you? Did you fall off the balcony? What's going on? Didn't reply. She just sat there with that frozen face the whole time. And so I said, well, you need to find the light. I'm calling in guides, angels, whatever help I can muster. Say you need to cross over. I'm sorry what happened to you, but it's time to move on. You know, so I talked to her the whole 6, 7 minutes, and the face finally disappeared. Hadn't changed expression. So I don't know if she moved on or not. I haven't been back to the hotel since then. So I don't know if she's still hanging out there or not. I did a little bit of Google searching there, and I found out pretty quickly that hotels and resorts in Colorado are not required to report deaths. So I couldn't find anything. The closest thing I could find was from 2017. 30-year-old woman apparently had a seizure, fell into the river, which is right behind the hotel. But the photo did not look like anything, did not look like the person I had seen at all. So I don't think it was her, but I can't find any other information. So, um, yeah, a little bit terrifying, that one there. So, even on vacation, I can't seem to get a minute's rest. If you saw my other video on southwestern ghosts, that's my other stories from that region, New Mexico, Mesa Verde National Park. So enjoy those as well. But yeah, I don't get a vacation very often. It's hard to find a non-haunted spot to go on vacation. But hope you enjoyed it.